computer. All right, so the meeting is being recorded. Thank you, Coach. Okay, now I'm going to share document, right? So you saw at the website, at the first page there, you're going to see the updated schedule. You can see the days that are remaining. If there is any changes, I notify at the WhatsApp, right? So very straightforward. So on the WhatsApp, also pictures, videos. Sometimes I also send homework with things that we have been learning and things that the players should practice on their own or with their friends or with the parents, whatever it is. So that's the notification about the schedule. Makeups, that's something that a lot of people always ask me about. So we used to offer, like, you cancel the class with 24 hours in advance, then you can book a class in the future, but that got out of hand. I feel people started becoming more laid back and like, I'm not gonna go here today, gonna schedule for another day. That interfered with the other classes. We do want consistency because the classes are planned accordingly with a progression. Is very important if the players are present to every practice. I understand things happen sometimes. It's complicated, but we do offer one makeup per cycle. We offer one makeup per cycle, and that it's going to be scheduled by the end of the cycle, and you're going to receive notification by the end of the cycle through the WhatsApp group and by the email, right? So I'm sorry, I wish I could offer something better, but it became too chaotic and it started interfering with the quality of the classes for the other people that were being more consistent. Levels. Okay, very important. The parents and the players understand that completing a cycle doesn't mean the player is moving up. So the player finished cycle 1, now going to cycle level 2? No, not true. Every player improves in a different rate. Every player improves in a different rate. And that comes a lot also if they are committing, paying attention, doing that part aside of the practices, respecting the coach, and also what level of fitness they are, if they practice other sports and all of that. So completing a cycle doesn't mean you're moving to the other cycle, right? At the first practice, players are being assessed. So the coaches use the first practice to evaluate if any player at that group should be moved up or down, right? And that keeps on happening during the cycle. If the coach realizes after the second or third or fourth session, they're like, oh, okay, I think this player should be moved up. If there is a space for that player on that group, the coach is gonna notify the player, and it's also gonna notify me, and I'm gonna notify the parent about the move and coordinate the attendance with the other group. Okay, and okay. Being, for example, a player finished last cycle as level 3. So, of course, you're going to register for level 3. But again, the first session is an assessment. And depending on the group that the coach has in his hands, that player might stay on level 3, might be moved to level 4, or might be asked to go down to level 2. Oh, this is unfair. This is not right. That's how sports is as much as you put in, you get back. If you don't put effort in, you don't get the results you expect. And we need to keep the quality of the program. So that's how we run it. Here on number 4, I'm reinforcing this: practicing once a week. It's not enough. Every player should be practicing at least 3 times a week. I know the kids have a busy schedule with the school and other things, but I'm just being realistic, right? You go to 1 class a week and you don't touch the volleyball again, it's not enough. So you can attend other classes with us. You can attend other classes with other groups. The players can try to meet and play outside if it's not so cold. I know in New York City it's very hard to deal with it, but again, once a week is not enough. Levels. Okay, so what are the players going to be learning level 1 and level 2? Yesterday I had a meeting with the coaches. We readjusted the program, right? Organizing accordingly to every cycle. So level 1 and level 2, the players learn the basic techniques. right? How to bump, how to set, how to serve, how to spike, how to do the approach to the net, to the spike, about footwork, communication. And those are the skills that they're going to carry with them for the rest of the volleyball journey. So sometimes the parents and the player might feel, oh, I just want to go to level 3, or I just want my child to level 4, whatever. But if those fundamentals are not nailed, it's basically building a house on the sand. It eventually is not going to be stable. So we need to focus on that. And again, every player has a different rhythm to learn. So, don't just trust on the work we do. If you have any problems, you can reach out to me in person. You can always talk to the coach before or after the practice, not during the class, because during the class, the attention of the coach should be over the class and not over the parents' questions. If you have questions, you can reach out to me, right? So what differs from level 1 to level 2? It's ball control. Pretty much is how well they are learning the technique and how well they can pass the ball to the target, right? So if they received service and they have to pass the ball to setter, is that ball going closer to the setting, or is it still going nowhere? So if it's still going nowhere, that's still a level 1. If the player moves towards the ball, very important. If the player doesn't move after the ball, we can't move the player to level 2. That's very important to understand. So footwork is very important. There are things that the players can do aside, that is go for runs, go to the gym, do some workouts, do other sports, right? But that's fundamental. If you can't move to the ball, we can't pass you to level 2. And I'm very strong with that with the coaches. There is communication. They need to learn how to communicate. Volleyball, every player needs to communicate of all times. And effort, if the player is coming in and is not putting effort, it's not going to be moved ahead, especially to level 3. Some players still get to level 2, but they're not going to get level 3 if they are joking, not paying attention. And that I'm going to talk again as soon as I talk about discipline. That's very important to understand. So there is a difference between level 1 and level 2 players. In Astoria, they practice at the same time, and the groups generally are going to be split depending on the drill. So if they are training ball control, that means passing to each other, we are not really going to split the group because the drill is the same. We are just going to partner up the player to the same level. So if the player has a bit better ball control than the other player, so that player that has better ball control is going to be partnered up with the player that has better ball control. And then depending on the drill, we are going to split the groups accordingly, right? All right. So what about tournaments and teams? I already scheduled a tournament for level 2. I highly recommend for the parents to register for that, because one thing is classes. It's a very safe territory. You're not nervous. You're not anxious. You're just doing what the coach is saying. But when it's game, it's a complete different story. It's very important that they participate of the tournaments. On level 2, we adapt the rules, right? We don't have service because serve receive is a very hard skill for them. They're not ready yet for level 2. Even though at level 2, they're going to learn a lot about service, a lot about service. So what about teams? Level 3 and level 4, we are forming teams to compete in our tournaments, right? Because the classes for level 3 and level 4 are turning into small leagues. But also I have a partnership for the CYO teams. These teams are basically closed for this season, but that's something that we were able to achieve and form teams and make the girls compete at CYO. And that happens after they become level 3 and level 4. Okay, all right. Discipline. I wanted to get on this because this is very polemic. Everyone educates their kids in different styles. I am old school. And my background is not volleyball, but I have been involved in high-level competitions since I was 11 years old, playing other sports. So, and I am old school. That means that if I have to say something, I'm going to say right on your face how it is. I'm not going to be rude, but I'm going to go straight to the point, right? I'm learning that things have been different, right? Especially in New York State, the way things are approached towards education and discipline. I had a meeting with the coach, and this is how we are going to approach the situation. So I want all the parents to understand that if your child is not putting effort, is laughing, is not respecting the coach, is not listening, this child is going to be asked to step out and take a break, right? Just watch and take a break. Then eventually the coach is going to have a brief talk, because supposedly they have to understand what are the expectations inside of a practice, right? Going to have a brief talk and say, listen, this is what is happening. I would like you to improve your behavior. And then it's going to be invited back in the class. If behavior doesn't improve, then it's going to be asked to leave. It's going to be asked to leave. I'm going to be reaching out to the parents. I'm going to talk to the parents, and we wouldn't like to continue if that's the situation, right? Why? Like some people might say, oh, that's so like hard rock. That's not right. This is how I run the program. I think discipline is essential. This, like our group, is just the first step in their journey. For sure, they're going to try to join school teams and clubs. And guess what? Life gets harder. So discipline at this first step is basic for us to be able to deliver good classes and get the players to improve. Sometimes if there is laziness and lack of respect, some other girls feel comfortable in that environment and might join those players. So I'm very strong with that. I'm very strong with discipline. Towards coaches, I have Coach Tony here. I don't think I have the other coaches here. They are also busy. I really appreciate Coach Tony. Do you want to say anything?
Maybe just a couple of things. Regarding what you said about practicing more than once a week, even if they can't go out or go to a gym, I sometimes tell them just basic things. They can always practice setting in their bedroom, just without doing anything else, without damaging any furniture. And then when I teach them the hitting approach, that's something that takes a lot of practice, and like you have to do it like 1,000 times just to get it in your muscle memory. So I always tell them, like, if you have even like 3 feet of space at home, you can practice that approach over and over, and that'll help. um what else? A couple things I always tell the kids on the first week: when you bring your ball, put your name on it with a marker, because a lot of times people take your ball, or if you leave the ball, we want to know who it is. We can return it to you if there's a name on it. If the parents can get a ball pump, they're pretty cheap. They're only about $10. A lot of the kids, their balls come in half deflated, and then I spend time pumping up the ball, or it just takes time away from the class. So if you could just get a pump, that would help. I think that's all I have.
Thank you for saying that. So every player should bring, I'll give a chance right after. Every player should bring their volleyball to every practice, right? We don't store equipment at the school. So every player needs to bring their own volleyball and be responsible for it. Put the name and phone number if you want. Sometimes people mess up and take each other's ball. We try to help and communicate at the WhatsApp group, but understand if they forget the ball, the volleyball, we cannot go in the gym until next practice. So then it's just being hopeful that the volleyball is going to be there. Generally, we don't have problems with that. Generally, the equipment is left there. Sometimes disappears for a month and suddenly appears again, but the players need to be responsible for that. Yeah. And then in the case, have a pump, right, to make sure that the ball is in a good state. So I think I went overall the topics that I wanted to make clear, and now I'm going to give the chance for the parents to present questions. So if you want to say something, just unmute yourself.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm a mother of Elena. She is going to be joining. I was just wondering, how do we join WhatsApp group, or you send the invite to us?
So once you registered, you received an email right? Please check your, how they say, trash? Is that trash? Trash box?
Oh, spam.
Spam. Please check
Spam
your
folder.
spam. Thank
I
you.
will.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't find it, please reach out to me. And I'm gonna send the invitation, right?
Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Of course, but check there. There is on the first, as soon as you registered, you received that email, and there was a link for the WhatsApp group to join.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On the WhatsApp group, please always try to refer to things that are general, refer things that are personal, that you need to talk to me about in a specific thing that doesn't address overall group. You can reach out individually. Otherwise, please reach out. Even like, oh, where's the class today? Oh, what time is the class canceled? What? Go ahead on the WhatsApp group, because if I don't see it right away, other parents are gonna answer for you. Any other questions?
Yes, good evening. You just mentioned about the balls. Is there any ball in particular the coaches like, or any other suggestions about the balls?
Okay, my reference to balls is always like look for the non-sting ones, because some of them hurt on the forearm. Like you can see less and less available on the market, but there are balls like that, and it's painful for them. Some of the kids are gonna complain at first that it hurts the forearm a little bit. You can buy like protection for that, but look for non-sting ball. And then I'm gonna share at the WhatsApp group some suggestions about the volleyball. Yeah.
And I think if you
Thank you.
pump the ball up a little bit less, it won't hurt as much also.
That's right. Yes. Don't fully pump the ball, a little bit less. Like when you release the ball, it goes up to your hips level again. That's more than ideal. Don't completely pump the ball. Yeah. But I will share at the WhatsApp group some recommendations. Anyone else has any other question? No? All right. So I'm going to end the meeting. I know all of us have a lot going on in your personal life. I appreciate the time. You can feel free to reach out to me. Sometimes you're going to see me around. Sometimes you're not going to see me. But if you see me, please feel free to approach me and talk to me. I love to meet the parents and understand what are the needs, right? You can also, like, I don't know what we are good. I'm just going to say very briefly what we are good. If one day you want your child to join the school team, we are the front door for that. With our programs, many of the kids are having better chances of joining the school team. They get their more experience. They already know the basic techniques. They know the rotations. So this is the right thing to do. About clubs, if they keep on going and get to level 3 and level 4, there are girls on level 3 and level 4 that are part of clubs. And this is always a discussion if I want to turn my program to have at least representation into clubs with travel teams. But this always bothered me, because instead of charging hundreds, I would have to charge thousands. And I honestly don't want to do that, but it's something I might consider for the future. But we have local competitions again. We form teams to compete at CYO, but that happens only when the girls become level 3 and level 4. And then we have our own our own tournaments and games and leagues. Depends on the time of the year and who is available. So anyone else wants to say anything? Last chance, or we just should finish? Right? So feel free to reach out through the WhatsApp group or just private message if I can help on any sense. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hopefully I'm going to see you guys soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.